Today, many governments are introducing incentives to ensure an increasing uptake of renewable energy in the transportation sector. But increasingly, some countries are also setting demands on when combustion engines technologies must be outphased from current market. To achieve this, in the legislation, there are also included definition of what zero-emission trucking technologies can be and thus what can be allowed in the future. In the EU, as part of the Green Deal, clear end dates have been set for the phasing out of combustion engine technology and several different vehicle types. Starting with passenger cars and vans, we are now moving into seeing an end on phasing out of heavy-duty vehicles as well. The table shows the demands that the European Union is setting on truck manufacturers and manufacturers of heavy-duty vehicles to ensure that a certain share of the vehicles live up to zero-emission standards by a given year. And as you will see, by 2040, 90% of heavy-duty vehicles will have to be zero-emission vehicles. That means vehicles powered by electricity, hydrogen, or synthetic fuels known as Power-to-X. By 2030, the requirement is 43% of all heavy-duty vehicles meeting zero-emission standards. The requirement is placed on truck and vehicle manufacturers alone. This means that it is their responsibility to ensure that they reach the targets. This means that they must drive down cost and mature technologies to ensure that the models they send on the market are competitive. In the US, we have seen California set individual emission targets for the vehicles operating in their state. They have also set clear phasing out targets and end dates for fossil engine technology. California requires 75% of new rigid truck meeting zero emission or near zero emission standards by 2035. They are also requiring 40% of new tractors meeting the same targets. By 2045, 100% of all medium and heavy-duty vehicles will have to meet zero-emission standards. As in the EU, the requirements in California are placed on the truck and vehicle manufacturers. We see other states putting other measures in place to support the transition to zero-emission vehicles, such as putting in place comprehensive charging infrastructure. At a federal level, the US has enacted the Inflation Reduction Act, which, amongst other, ensures tax credits for sustainable technologies, such as battery electric trucks or sustainable fuels. As these tax credits are both available for the manufacturer and the end consumer, the Inflation Reduction Act will increasingly drive down cost for zero-emission vehicles and heavy-duty trucks. The Inflation Reduction Act sets clear definitions of what may be defined as a zero-emission technology, pointing to battery electric trucks, hydrogen fuel trucks, and trucks fueled by renewable sustainable fuels, such as Power-to-X. The gradual transition to zero-emission trucking technologies will require changes in supply chain and logistics. At DSV, we're experts in operating complex supply chains, and we can offer help and advice on how to anticipate this legislation and the new standards. Do not hesitate to reach out to your local DSV contact point for support.